Yeah, welcome, William. We have William Wagner, Michigan long snapper, with us today on the podcast.
Welcome,
William,
welcome.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Liz, thank you so much for being on the show. As Pat was kind of mentioning to you a little bit offhand, I got to make sure I don't knock my chips over. That's really loud when that happens. But as Pat was telling you, man, we love Michigan. We love college football. We love the sports athletes, and we're super excited to have you on, man. This has been great.
I'm glad to be on.
Nice. Well, go ahead, Pat. Take her away.
Well, now, William, the first question I have, are you a senior?
I'm a fifth year.
You're a fifth year.
I was a senior last year.
Right. Yeah. I seen that you were a very intelligent guy. You were recruited by Wagner and Brown University,
or Mercer and Brown.
Well, I mean, aren't they all? Yeah.
Yeah, and then I was also kind of recruited from Georgia to Georgia Tech. That was another one of people who were interested in me, as well as Tennessee.
So you're a Southern guy. So being up in Michigan is kind of a weird thing for you, but you love it up there, right?
I mean, especially my freshman year, it was just interesting. The people here are different than Georgia people, and especially the suburbs I was from in Georgia. It was just a different kind of culture. I just had to adjust to that and adjust to how many different personalities you'll have on the football team. So that was another thing. Because it was a ton of Georgia people or Georgia kids on the football team,
right?
And so you have your you know how to interact with them, but some of the other guys are just oh.
So coming into that's a really good point. When I shipped off for basic training, I just turned 18, probably 34 days prior. And I'm in a room now with hundreds of people from all over the country. And that was one of the cool things, was connecting with the different parts of the country. Hell, I got some crazy stories about Utah. I've never been to Utah in my life, but I served with a dude from Utah, and I'm looking forward to eventually making my way to Utah. So how was that in the beginning of the locker room? Were you able to take it head on, or did you have a wingman type partner with you that was in Michigan or had come up to Michigan?
Well, so my freshman roommate, Carl Kershka, he's from Dexter, which is right outside Ann Arbor.
Oh, yeah.
And so I kind of used him and his family as a basis for me. But also in my freshman year, I only had a semester, and then it was COVID, or a semester and a half, and then it was COVID. So I just went back home, and I was I guess I'm back home now.
Yeah. Thus bringing us to the fifth year senior portion, because it's crazy to think that COVID is still, the big C. My bad, YouTube. But it's crazy
Charles, we don't speak that evil around here.
We don't speak that evil anymore. Yeah, dear God. But it's crazy to think that it's still a major scenario in people's lives. So moving forward a little bit, right onto the locker room thing. One of the questions, I didn't know if I was going to make it or not, but one of the questions I wanted to ask you was what led you to Michigan? Ultimately, what was the decision? Was it a family? Was it a friend? The recruiting process? Because we all see Jim on TV, and he's got to be a great guy.
Yeah. So before Michigan, I only had Brown and Mercer, and I was Brown's about 80,000 a year, and I was Dad, I don't know if you want to do that.
And then can I interrupt you for a second?
Yeah.
Did you know you're one of the only 5-star ever? What is they call them, special teams recruits? You were a 5-star special teams recruit. Yeah.
Actually, So with especially long snapping, it's kind of weird.
Yes.
There's Rubio Coles and Corn Blue. I mean, I was a 5-star. Tommy Dolan was a 6-star.
I don't even know. I don't know how that works, but sure.
And then Butterwick, another one of the long snappers, he was a 5-star too on Coles and Rubio, I think. Actually, wait, he might have been 6 stars too. I don't know. But the ranking is just weird, especially with specialists, because he might be a 5-star, but it's not about your talent level. It's also your mental stability.
Yes, it has to do with your academics as well as
Yeah, and going back to why I chose Michigan, well, one of the coaches called me and was like, yeah, I mean, you got a spot if you want it. And I was like, huh. And I started researching into Michigan, and I was like, they're like top 5 engineering school. And I was like, oh. So me and my dad on my birthday came up here, and we just like toured the engineering school because it was a dead period for football recruiting.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's a cool 3D printing machine. And it was like, and which actually I have one right here in my living room.
Of course
too.
you do. Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. Yeah.
That's awesome.
And I was just like walking around. I was like, this is like, they have a lot of labs. They have a lot of like stuff to do. They have a lot.
Man, the Michigan campus is just beautiful and plentiful when it comes to the student, as long with the athlete. I've heard many good things about that.
Oh yeah, and like getting my mechanical engineering degree was really hard.
Yeah,
especially
I mean, congratulations, bro. Listen, I mean, that's tough, and especially playing football at Michigan on top of that. I mean, the stress you've had to go through. Have you found ways to cope with that differently?
Caffeine.
You see, he's just pounding whatever that drink is that he's got. Yeah.
Yeah. A little Zella, put that
Zella,
on there.
yeah, there you go. Yeah, you can put
again,
that on.
what I
we're not sponsored. We don't care.
Yeah, we don't care. What I'm
not sponsored. I wish.
And what we consider stressful too could just be a normal Tuesday for you. In the thought of it, it's probably more about how much you can fit into an hour than how many hours you have to fit.
I mean, that is true, because I mean, for like, especially in my undergrad, I could not go to office hours. That was like one of the things that I was struggling with, and especially going through like physics 240. I was just like, I don't get this. It's a wire, and somehow it has a like electric field or a magnetic field around it. I don't know how to describe that. And like I couldn't go to office hours, so I'd have to email the teacher and then just be effective when I'm doing my homework, because that was the only way I would really like know how to do it and like check answers with other people. And that was how I coped with like having 6 hours of my day to football.
Yeah. Right. And one of the like hardest things for you probably too was you didn't have anything to rely on. Like, you had to be there. You had to be at practice. You had to do all this stuff. There wasn't 6 or 7 guys behind you in the depth chart where you could be like, hey, you know, I'm gonna do homework and you guys are gonna go run drills or something like we did in high school. You know, like, you didn't have that. You're like, hey, I'm here with the rest of them. I'm the starter. Like, I have to practice. I had to do all this stuff, you know?
Yeah. And especially like, even like away games.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just like Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
It takes up your whole weekend.
I mean,
because what you guys probably had run-throughs on Friday, you had a game, like you had a walkthrough, and then Saturday is, if it was close enough, you guys probably had a travel day, like in the morning or whatever. You guys,
we travel on Fridays usually.
Fridays if it's close,
and then right after the games, we just get out of there.
Usually boogie on out of there. Man, it's so exciting. I've loved watching you guys play. It has just been a blast. As a fan who says we way too much, I greatly appreciate you guys.
Yeah, if you, I don't know if you checked out the podcast before you actually decided and said, yeah, I'll come on, but Charles and I will defend Michigan to the very bitter end when it comes to everything involved with Michigan. And we are both born Yoopers, born in the state of Michigan.
And the Yoopers.
Yeah, we live in Wisconsin though, which people throws people off actually for the podcast. They're like, you guys live in like I'm in Madison right now I'm in Badger territory, which is like kind of like a evil for like people. It's kind of like one of those things where it's like, yeah, this guy's hanging out down here. What's he doing here? But
my father-in-law is an Ohio State fan.
Yeah, Charles has it bad, so we just kind of ignore the fact that he's got somebody in his family that's kind of like rooting for the other side.
I really love my wife.
Yeah, you love your wife, but it's funny that your father-in-law actually is taking your side on a lot of these things. It's funny.
He does too. It's been interesting. It was funny too. Just a couple days ago, we had mentioned the other day, William. The wife goes, so are you going to call my dad down for the Ohio State game? And I looked at her and I was like, never, ever are we going to watch that game together. I was like, I don't, So last year she goes,
Yeah.
I don't get it. It's just a game. And she's well past that now, but she's still in that like
She doesn't
quite
understand. Yeah, she doesn't
she's
quite
getting
understand.
there. We're getting her
Yeah.
there. We're getting her there.
Yeah.
So I guess William, well, Charles, I don't know if you're going to touch on this because I'm sorry I interrupted you, but were you going to bring this up that William, growing up, what were you? Were you a Georgia fan? Were you something else? Were you a SEC fan? I mean, it doesn't really matter. Come on now, nobody's going to throw shade at you because you say that you're a Georgia fan.
I don't know.
We might have to wait. Listen, you might have to answer that at the end of the season. When
you can answer that after Michigan wins a natty. Yes, you can answer that later. Sure.
Well, here's the thing. My whole family went to Alabama.
Oh, good Lord. Fan. Yes. Yeah. Well, I mean, yes, that's hard. Ooh. That's very hard for you as a kid growing up. Yeah.
Yeah. And a lot of people didn't like that when I came up here.
Yeah.
So I got questions. That growing up in the South, what's football like down there? I mean, listen, we come from the UP. We're almost as far north of this damn country as you can get without going to Canada, right? So the South is a different breed when it comes to football.
Especially, yeah, okay. So in the South, I played center. I played D tackle. I play all the special teams and also long snap, especially my like senior season. Yeah. But it's like, I think.
How were the home football games in high school? Just crazy intense.
Like, I mean, the biggest crowd I ever played in front of in high school was like maybe 2,000, 500, 2,000, 3,000.
Our hometown has 1,500 people in it in the month of December, bro. So you played in front of more people than we grew up with.
Yeah. And I was just like, also my junior year, like we went far into the playoffs. Yeah. And that was something that like, it's just like different. And especially because like, you know pretty much everyone in those stands almost.
Yeah.
But like now it's like you're in front of 110 and you're like,
yeah. How loud is it, bro?
I think I know you.
I've been to war. Shit's loud, right?
I think I know that
big house is loud.
I wouldn't even say the big house is that loud.
Really?
No.
Nebraska was loud.
Yeah.
Isn't it funny though that they play that third quarter and you all are like, yeah, come on, bring the noise. The noise. We love hearing it. It's so loud.
2021, since it was a night game and it was like close.
Yeah.
That was the loudest I've ever seen a stadium.
That
Nebraska, really?
That video is iconic too, where Corum, Edwards, all those guys are on the sidelines and they just got their hands pointed up and they're just like, it's so loud in here. But in Hutchinson, all those guys are just like, bring it. We love the noise. We love it.
Oh yeah.
I just seen a video of Hutchinson running like Waluigi.
Oh, for God's sakes! Come on, no, we're not gonna play with. Now, bro. We're gonna play with NFL memes here. No, we're good.
Waluigi.
Yeah.
Oh, running like Waluigi. Oh,
Waluigi. Yeah.
Hey, we had a Lions fan, very, very special to the show. Chirp back and goes, "That's fine. Who do you guys got as Packer fans?"
So
and I said, "Princess Peach."
We don't want to reach into your personal life, but who was your freshman? Oh, I think you already said who your freshman roommate was when you were there. Yeah. So you got to obviously you got to move out. You're now a fifth year senior. You get to move out. You get to do your thing. You want to be an engineer. You went to a great school for that, obviously. Yeah. Charles, you had a good question that you sent me earlier about towards the end, like one of the second, third questions you had for him. Yeah.
You
want to jump into that?
Who's been your biggest football influence throughout your life, right when you decided, man, football is going to take me where I need to go to get to the next step of my life? Who is that football influence?
I'd have to say my two older brothers.
Really?
They really like instilled into, because my brother Michael played at Mercer.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
as a linebacker.
Awesome.
So I was kind of like going to his games like when I was in middle school. Just go tailgate out there. I was like, oh, this is cool.
Yeah.
And also my brother Christopher, he was a center, and I was like, I was kind of bigger, so I was like, I'll play center.
Yeah.
And like they kind of instilled all the like my like mental state and like my personality and like to love football, because like they would like we'd have summer workouts and I'm just like, I love this.
Can I interrupt you and ask you one question? Do you have a backup position if all hell breaks loose at Michigan? Do you have a backup position that you play at Michigan that they say, guess what? Send William in there. He's going in. He's the guy. He's the next guy on the depth chart.
Right,
Is it center?
Or I don't know. I can spin the ball.
Yeah,
I can spin the ball, so I'd say QB. You know?
yeah.
Get me
coming
in there.
Coming in a Wildcat package. I'm telling you.
You've never seen a big boy run the football like me.
Yeah.
Marcus Spears would be all over that
Yeah,
shit. Big man
exactly,
can play,
yeah.
baby.
See, they wouldn't say the hefty lefty; they'd say the hefty righty.
Yeah. I absolutely love your profile picture too on Instagram there with Harbaugh. That actually makes me smile so much, man. That guy is such a freaking he's such a great freaking player. And the videos come and made viral aspects of my life with the Smaj Morgan where he's washing his ma's dishes and people are talking about it. It's like people don't realize that's what that guy is. That's who he is.
He looks like he'd be
you know,
a really
he's such a
fun
great person.
Thanksgiving Day conversation. It just
He's such a great guy. I couldn't say anything less than that.
Well, to add on to that, now earlier in life I did a little bit of high school sports, and then we'll say 9/11 happened and changed the whole trajectory of my life. I never got to enjoy the locker room environment in a big scenario. What's it like inside that locker room after a win?
We got to hear this.
I mean, it's great, especially after the Ohio State 2021. That was the best I've ever seen that locker room.
When they screamed, who's got it better than us? And then they asked, what did they say? They are. Yes. Yeah. They started screaming in the locker room. Yes.
It was that was the best locker room experience I've ever had in my life. And
it'll
it's just
follow through.
You'll see especially from high school, a good locker room experience, and then going to college and seeing that, and you're like, oh my God, this is different. And you're just so happy. It was great.
Oh my God. I can only imagine. What's the Michigan weight room like?
Oh, dude.
He's just is it nice?
Yeah. Any toy you'd ever want, it's in there.
Yeah. Man, I love our strength and conditioning coach. Again, I mentioned before,
absolutely.
I'm a huge
He's
Wii
a freaking
fan.
monster.
I'm a
He's
huge
a
Wii fan. If anything at all you're willing to share about that guy, because he was the part of a meme earlier with his intense staring on the field. Man, when you guys are playing the game, he's got fire coming out of his eyes. I love this dude. I want to hear more about him.
Coach Herb, I love Coach Herb. If people could sit in a room with Coach Herb and he could and people ask him questions, he'll take a 5-second take in the question, and he'll give you the best answer. And especially and even when we're training, I mess around with him, and then we'll be on the slack block, which is your ankle mobility and ankle control.
Okay.
And he'll just be staring at your ankle and just
he's got that fire, man.
Yes, sir.
That's exact look.
I love it.
Oh man. Oh, that's so cool to hear.
Oh yeah, it's great. I love him.
All right, Charles. I've been to Ann Arbor and I've been to 3 Michigan games. I've got to ask William what his favorite food in Ann Arbor is.
Yeah.
Your favorite
we love
place
food
to go,
on this
your
website,
favorite
man.
place for you and the boys to go and eat.
Ooh. That's an interesting one, because I usually get all my food from the facility.
Oh, yeah. The Michigan food facility. That
one
good?
of those, I guess, one of those nights where you ventured out, maybe whether or not you guys just decided this is the night for pizza or this is the night for a burger. But if you say the one place that I'm thinking of,
I'm not gonna say it though.
He's gonna. All right, you don't have to say it because I know exactly what you're thinking of. Then yes.
Oh no, because I went to last Thursday I went to Heidelberg, and they have the best burgers ever.
Heidelberg.
It's
Heidelberg.
It's a bar.
Yeah, you
it's like bar
ventured.
food.
Yeah, you ventured a
It's
little
on Main
ways.
Street, but
Yeah.
dude, that burger, and it's so good, and the sweet potato fries so crunchy. Like, and that's just like, it's like recent in my mind, but like I've been there like 2 or 3 times, and that food is like unbelievable.
Wonder if they
It's
flash
crazy.
freeze their burgers before shipped in au jus sauce. That's usually such
Oh,
a
dude,
oh
it's
man,
so
it's so
good.
good. It's so good when that shit happens.
It's so good.
I love food, man. I love
Oh, dude.
food.
If you haven't been there, I'd say
Good
go and
Lord.
get the burgers there. Or
Yeah.
it's like it's German, so it's like you can have German food
Yeah.
as well.
Nice.
What were you thinking of?
I can't say it because if I say it, you're going to be like, I probably never been there.
Say it. Say it. You're
it.
talking to a noob right now. I've yet to pop my big
I
house
can't
cherry.
remember. I know part of the name. It was like Annie's or something. It was like Annie's Cafe or something on.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
that's a good place
there's like
too.
something. We all went there and it was, but see, when I went to the game, it was me, my ex, a bunch of like Michigan like lawyers that she went to school with because she works at like some law firm now. But anyway, it was like, yeah, a bunch of lawyers went there and they were like, yeah, you got to go here because, you know, it's right off freaking campus. We just have to go. And like, we got in this freaking like bus after the fact and they started playing shot ski and it was just nuts.
It's the one right next to the hospital, right?
Yeah, I believe so. It's over there.
Yeah. Well, actually, they're about to go out, or not go out of business, but close down. So you should better get there.
Yeah, we should go back, Charles. Charles, we need to go back.
Hey, I'm always down. I'm always down. Okay, which reminds me, here we go. I've got a big issue with roads, right? Wisconsin doesn't have too crazy of roads, but Michigan is just effed. Coming from where you were to Michigan, right? How is that transition of roads been for you?
I've gotten a skill down to just swerve out of the potholes. It's
actually you should have asked them how is it like driving in the actual snowstorms in Michigan. Like, so a lot of those guys are like, dude, this is
Michigan
stupid.
lefts.
I take Ubers everywhere.
You're the first time you saw Michigan left. How'd it treat you?
I didn't know what that was until about like last year. Why are there so many like got to turn right then turn left?
Why do all the roads go like this? Nothing is east, west, north, or south. You're going fucking northwest to southwest in every damn direction. It makes no sense.
That's how it should be, Charles. That's how it should be.
I mean, I think there's only like one Michigan left in Georgia, and that's the only that like. And then I come up here and there's like 5 on State Street. And you're just like, what?
I just married a buddy of ours in Muskegon, the Muskegon area, man. And I had some old lady teach me how to drive mid-road. I'm like, what are you doing? And she's like, no, come this way. Come here. And I'm like, I'm being taught how to drive right now.
Oh, crazy stuff.
Oh, man. That was too good. But hey, honestly, that's all I got, Pat. You got a couple
we don't
more
want to
things?
take up too much of your time. Yeah, we're actually gonna push this into probably a full segment of just Michigan, and then we'll have the interview with you as well. So yeah, we really appreciate you coming on. I really hope your back gets better. I mean, for God's sakes, we got Penn State coming up. We can't be having William with the injury report. We can't be those guys that say, well, I don't know, he might not be able to snap the ball for the extra points, you know.
I've actually, about the back, Nebraska 2021, my back locked up.
Oh, really?
Locked up. Like I couldn't even like do this. It was terrible. And I put the amount of Flexol and Tiger Balm I put on that was
got it fixed, got it working for what it was.
Charles, you need to get a hold of him with what your medical doctor.
As soon as it goes, I'm telling you, I'm gonna let you know the name of it. That Michigan facility will hook you up, bro. I swear.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Charles, run us out of here, Charles. We appreciate you coming on, William, and absolutely go blue, beat Penn State, beat Ohio State, take that to the Natty. We will absolutely love everything that goes on with Michigan sports from the day.
We look forward
to
watching your career blossom. Whichever direction it goes, man. I'm super stoked about the engineering. I wish you the very, very best moving forward, man. Very blessed.
Thank you.
Yeah,
thanks
absolutely.
For having me on.
Oh, we love it, dude. We love it. And we look forward to reaching out at the end of the season, seeing how everything went for you.
Yeah, thank you for having me on. All right.